Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Raquel Annette. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. As you can see, Raquel has gone from 0 to 100 real quick, and I'm going to show you guys how I did that because I'm using a palette that I'd never used before. Now, it's not a new release, but it's definitely a palette that should be a staple in everyone's kit or makeup collection of palettes because it is so beautiful and so blendable. And I mean, it was a big thing when it first came out, and then it got launched again. What I'm talking about is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Obsessions palette. So this is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette. Now this is such a beautiful palette. We've got the nudes, we've got the mattes, we have just a beautiful color story that can be super dramatic or an everyday. Definitely something that I should have been had, but the only reason I picked it up is because I used it on a photo shoot and the colors just blended so beautifully. I was like, I have to have it, so I went and got it. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I got this look, of course, continue on watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll meet y'all here at the end of the video. Alright, so this primer by ABH literally has been my favorite primer of all of 2019. So I really do like this primer by ABH. It dries down to the perfect opaque finish, and what I'm doing right now is just buffing that out, and I'm using the Morphe M173 brush. Now that we are all blended out, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette. Now this is my first time showing this on my channel. I've literally had this palette for about 2 months and I haven't even opened it, I haven't used it or anything, literally for 2 months. It's just so beautiful, and I'm just gonna go ahead and play around with it. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is dip into sandalwood, and I'm gonna mix henna and sandalwood together. This is an F63 airbrush blender by Sigma Beauty. Bomb. It just is going to get everything into my crease evenly. I love this base because it's so bright and it just shows all the colors so perfectly. There's no skipping with these shadows and the primer, so it's just a perfect combination, which is why I've been using it and I love it. This is where you should start blending, and then the rainbow. A lot of people just like stop right there, but you have to bring it down if you want a really defined cut crease. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish blending this out. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and dip into the henna, and henna is very pigmented, and it is a rust color that I'm absolutely in love with. So pretty. We're just gonna follow that same formula by blending it in with each other. As you can see, beautifully they blend themselves. I love Huda Beauty. I have so many Huda Beauty palettes and I use them all the time because the shadows are beautiful. I love it. Literally one of my favorite formulas for eyeshadows. Not too overbearing, just a beautiful flush of color when blended together. Alright, so those are blended together. That is basically just our base, our transition. It's just going to be the color that is blown out. Dipping into the shade Xoxo, and this is just a smaller, dense, fluffy brush. If I look up, I can kind of indicate where I'm going to start building that brown up. And now I'm going to be picking up black truffle. Black is so opaque and it doesn't skip and it's not transparent. It's super opaque. I'm going to start patting this down and upwards, and I'm literally just a touch. And as you can see, this is kind of why I fell in love with this palette in the first place, because I didn't know what look to do for the photo shoot, and I've never used this palette before, and then I just start using it and everything started blending together, and that's what we want in this new year, child. So even though this isn't a new release, this is definitely a palette that should be a staple item in everyone's kit because it just performs so well. Now I'm just taking this pencil brush by Sonia Kashuk. This is like a classic set that I got a long time ago, and I liked it so much that one of them is on my shelf. But anyways, I'm connecting the black together, and then just taking a smaller brush, just picking up that Xoxo again and just re-blending out the just re-blending out the black shade a little bit more. Now, this is my first time using the Colourpop No Filter Concealer, and I picked up the shade Medium Dark 38. I'm not really sure if this is my shade or not. This is the only selection that they had at my Ulta. But yeah, this is what we got. I'm gonna go ahead and define my halo with this. So you're gonna take a smaller eyeshadow brush. You're just gonna pick up some of the concealer. You wanna focus it in the crease. We just wanna go right underneath that, about right here, because we still want the dark line to show, but we just want to define it a little bit more to make it pop with a lighter eyeshadow color. Right here. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pick up 24K and just put that over the rest of the concealed area. That is a very vibrant gold. I love that gold, it is beautiful. So I really like the way that that turned out. It's really pretty. So I am back. I cleaned up the sides a little bit. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into my face, taking the classic Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray, just to refresh and awaken my skin. And now using the very last bit of my hydrating jelly. I have another one because I love this so much. This just absorbs into the skin so well, and my skin is so dry. And I find when it's drier than I anticipate it to be, yes, literally down to the last drop. Still learning about my skin. Still learning about it even after my VI pill. My skin definitely has changed since my VI pill. You should definitely go check that out if you haven't seen it. It is a process. It's a series. So I only got one so far, and my skin, I can already tell what works, what doesn't work, what the first peel did, and what I can do to get my flawless complexion. So, I mean, it's an ongoing series, and I would love for you guys to stay tuned and see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up my trusty and true Becca Evermatte Primer. What? My Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector. I steer everybody to this who has textured skin or bigger pores or anything like that. If you literally don't have normal skin, I just go ahead and get it, sis. Go get the Becca Evermatte. You have to work quickly with this product for sure. It mattifies and it feels like it's closing your pores, honestly. It just creates a mask and a barrier, so the foundation, everything's not going to get into your pores, and it's going to keep you matte and set all day. Like I said, I have to do makeup today. So I'm going to be running, I'm going to be working, you know what I mean? I need my makeup to set. Today is a makeup look that is going to be up for some hours. Like, I'm going to be out on the strip. It's going to be live. If this is your first time working with the Becca Evermatte, to pat it in. I recommend this to so many people, and so many people are like, well, it didn't work for me. It just whirled off my skin. It does happen if you have not let your moisturizer absorb fully into your skin all the way, which is why I like to use the hydrating jelly, because it absorbs so quick and it hydrates. So it's a really amazing formula by Clinique. I would definitely try a sample. Foundation, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Fenty foundation. I have not used my Pro Filter in a while, because that's kind of like my all-nighter dance the night away foundation. That's the one that doesn't slip. And I haven't been out, I haven't really been anywhere where I needed foundation for an extended amount of time. But now, since I'm going to be out and going out possibly, I'm going to be using the Pro Filter foundation, and I'm in the shade 380. As we all know, this does oxidize a little bit, so it might come out looking a little bit lighter, but we all know it's going to be good in a couple of minutes. I don't know, man, like sometimes when you buy tools that are meant to be used for the things that they're supposed to be used, they just work so well. Sometimes like people are like, oh, that's just doing too much, I could use this and that, but this brush really works well with this foundation, and that is the truth. So with that same concealer that I used to carve out the halo, which is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer, this is in the shade Medium Dark 38, rundown, I'm going to go ahead and conceal my face. It's a very matte concealer. I'm not mad at it. I think that this is probably a little bit too pink for me, so I might have to go get a different shade. I mean, but pretty good coverage. I would say medium full coverage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add another coat on, a little heavier, because I feel like it's a medium full build. A little bit too dark and pink, so I'm just probably going to go ahead and pick up my other concealer, my Huda Beauty, and this is in the shade Toasted Almond. I'm just going to have to pop a little bit of this on with it to brighten up my under eye. Okay, so that is much better. That definitely brightened my face up the way I wanted it to. The concealer wasn't bad, it's just I picked a shade that was too dark for me. Now I'm going to be picking up my Fenty Beauty Espresso matchstick, and this is just a trusty and true, and you definitely have to warm this up a little bit before applying this to your face. And like, I can contour underneath my chin, but like when it comes to my cheeks, that's when you want to pick up the brush. Just with the side of this sponge, I'm just going to go ahead and blend out the harshness of that contour. Alright, so everything's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my Huda Beauty Blondie powder, and I'm just going to set that with this Real Techniques powder brush. Now, I've really been liking this powder brush because it's specifically designed for powder, and it just picks up and it applies it a little bit heavier than a damp beauty blender would. So I just really like this new tool as well. Alright, so I'm all set. I'm going to go ahead and just set the rest of my face with a brown powder that is the shade of my skin. Okay, so this is the Kat Von D, and this is in the shade 185 Deep. Tan Deep, the 3D HD Maxi Kabuki, and I just like how this applies all over because it's just such a dense, fluffy, big brush, but it like covers everywhere, and it's so quick and precise and soft because we don't need to bake for that long. This is such like an extreme heavy duty powder that you don't need that long to bake. That small brush, I'll be picking up henna. Just putting this underneath my eye. Alright, and then taking the black, I'll just be putting that as close to my waterline as possible. Taking a little bit of concealer, I'll just be putting that in the middle of the bottom lid so I can place the gold shades. Alright, so my camera died. I don't know when it died, but whenever it died, and it decided to die. It decided to betray me, and I look like I'm from the 80s. So now I'm going to be using 3 liners. So one of them is a glitter, and this is the NYX glitter, and this is in the shade Zodiac Queen. And I'm just going to be using the liquid liner side to line my eye, and then in my water duct I'll be using this Pixi Beauty Rose Glow liner, and it's just a really pretty metallic shade. I didn't want to go too heavy. I kind of wanted to keep the metallic metals going, so I'm just gonna go ahead and line my eye. And spread that out a little. Alright, so I have my lashes on. These are the Heartbreaker. I'm so in love with these. Now picking up my Fenty Beauty, and this is my Mocha bronzer. As you guys know, I'm absolutely obsessed with this bronzer. It's the perfect shade, and it does not fade, and it's just so pretty, and it builds up so well. I've gone through, this is my second one since the release, and I'm almost hitting pan on this one. But I've been loving this palette by Pixi. It's really good, and I've been using Tea. It is so pretty. It is such a luminous, beautiful, just see, it is so bright, and I'm definitely going for drama. I'm definitely going to 100, so I really need a super light bright highlighter that is just going to illuminate and stay all day. So now I'm just going to take my Limitless brown pencil from Makeup Forever and line my lips. And immediately after that, pick up the this is a liquid linen by ABH Cosmetics, and the name is Martha. I don't know why it would be Martha. I don't know. I've never met a Martha. Well, actually, I did meet this one girl when I was like in elementary school. We were like 9. Her name was Martha. It was just always awkward. And as you see, it's a very opaque pink. Blend this together. Well, it used to be a clear gloss, but I've been using it so much that it's kind of like a nudish brown, pink brown. And it's the liquid lingerie by NYX Cosmetics. Go ahead and pop that over my lips. Now I'm going to set my face with my Dewy Set by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And this definitely keeps you set all day. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Expect more makeup tutorials from palettes that I think that everybody needs to have, using them multiple times and just giving y'all the real 4-in-1 and what is worth your money and what's not. So go ahead, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys here on my next video.